I now recognize our final witness, Ms. Terry Benzel.
Thank you, Chairman Massey, Ranking Member Wilson, Chairman Bouchon, Ranking Member Lipinski, and members of the committees. I am pleased to offer my perspective on cyber R&D challenges and solutions based on 30 years in the cybersecurity community. I bring an interesting perspective stemming from principal at a startup company, vice president at McAfee Software, and now the director of our cyber networks and cybersecurity division at the Information Sciences Institute, a research lab of the University of Southern California's Viterbi School, where I direct the DETER project, a cybersecurity research, experimentation, and test facility. I would like to address 4 key points today. 1, the importance of broadening the purview of cybersecurity R&D. 2, the importance of research infrastructure for experimental cybersecurity R&D. 3, the importance of new models for technology transfer from university research into commercial practices and products. And 4th, the importance of higher education for developing next-generation cybersecurity researchers and technologies. Let me start with the importance of broadening the purview of cybersecurity R&D. All too often, our research is narrowly focused on single topics. For example, we have many people conducting excellent research in distributed denial of service, worms, botnets, and internet routing, each studied individually and deeply. But believe me, our adversaries are not looking narrowly. In fact, they are looking at the combinations of these different kinds of threats and vulnerabilities, as well as combining that with cyber-physical systems and social engineering. We can no longer afford to look narrowly at the hard problems. Even more so, cybersecurity is no longer solely an engineering discipline. We must involve economists, sociologists, anthropologists, and other disciplines. While there has been some progress in these areas by the National Science Foundation, DHS&T, and others, my first recommendation is we must increase the breadth and scope of strategic cyber R&D and increase opportunities for multidisciplinary research. Let me next address the need for research infrastructure for cyber R&D. Historically, we have struggled to prove the value of security technologies. Security is often viewed as the absence of something bad happening. I didn't get broken into, so I must be secure. When I was a vice president at McAfee Software, I visited large customers, banking, manufacturing, and retail, and I was always asked about return on investment, how much to spend, and how best to leverage cybersecurity investments. The truth is, we had no easy answers, except, of course, to buy our products. We need to be able to conduct science-based cyber experimentation and test, just as in other scientific disciplines. Real hypothesis-based testing, what-if scenarios, repeatable, demonstratable results. We provide this in the DHS and NSF-funded DETER project, where we provide tools and methodologies for researchers to live in the future, creating new capabilities not yet imaginable. We must, as a nation, create a paradigm shift in experimental cybersecurity. While NSF, DHS, S&T, DOE, and DARPA have all invested in cyber test beds and ranges, the results are uneven and not widely available. This brings me to my second recommendation. Formulate a research strategy agenda to develop a broad, multi-organizational cybersecurity experimentation and testing capability. Let me now address technology transfer. We've had major investments over the last 20 to 30 years, yet we are still inadequately prepared. Much research fails to see the light of day. While historically we have had insufficient awareness of the complexity of cybersecurity tech transfer, we've had scattershot approaches to cyber R&D and a mismatch between markets and threats. To address these growing demands, it is imperative we create new models of technology transfer, where the government-funded efforts help steer strategic cybersecurity R&D, and there are new university-public partnerships. As I've said already, we need to finally have education, more than just training. We need to educate the next generation of researchers and technologists. And we need to do this by offering hands-on exercises and educational opportunities. Let me summarize. We are beginning to see progress in all of these areas. NSF, DHS, and others deserve recognition for the focus they have brought to strategic programs. However, the current steps are not enough. We are lacking by orders of magnitude in order to shift the dynamic in the battlefield. The Security Enhancement Act of 2013 includes provisions for these recommendations. Taken together, the 4 recommendations I have outlined today form a basis for a multi-pronged, sustainable national project to address R&D challenges, and I urge you to take action now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Benzel.